Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Kari's Corner. Today I will be showing you guys three Dollar Tree Christmas projects that I created. The first one is a display box with the Dollar Tree Village, and the second one is a candy cane wreath, and the last one is a Santa frame. So you know what, because this is a little long video, let's just get to it. So as I said before, we're going to be doing three projects. This is the first project. This was a miniature little village that I created using Dollar Tree products. The second project is a candy cane wreath using candy canes, a Christmas ornament, and one of the singular greenery thing. I'm looking for the name. And lastly, this is a little Christmas frame with a Santa Claus and a Merry Christmas sign, also from the Dollar Tree. Now for the first project, we will be using a few items from Dollar Tree. The first item is the miniature house from the new collection that Dollar Tree has, and the hotel. Now in my previous videos I showed my haul and I found some figurines. I have not found the church or the other house and another pack that I'm missing of the little miniature people. So I was able to get about 4 little packs of the miniature people, including the dad and the child, I guess, shoveling snow with the little snowman and the lady, the bench and the 2 lamps, and the little walls with a little Christmas tree. And I also bought a pack of LED lights. Now this Santa with a little puppy and this snowman was purchased at Walmart along with this Christmas tree. Now I ended up not using the Santa or the snowman because they were bigger in size compared to the miniatures from Dollar Tree, but I did end up using the Christmas tree. Now this is from Dollar Tree. This is the fake snow, and I bought 4 8x10 photo frames from the Dollar Tree. Now those were all the items I needed in order to make this display box. I also used some hot glue and a little bit of E6000. Now in order for us to start our display box, you would need to take apart the 8x10 photo frames. The first things I did was that I lifted up the little tabs to remove the glass and the inserts. I didn't have any pliers in order for me to remove the tabs completely, and I tried doing it with my scissors, which was not successful. So I just ended up bending the tabs back with my finger and applying some hot glue to the edges of where the glass will fall into place in the frame. And I just held the glass down for a few seconds and I put it to the side for it to dry. Once you do that to all 4 frames, leave it there for about a minute in order for it to dry completely before you start putting the actual display box together. The next step is putting the frames together to create the display box. So I started using E6000. Now the thing with E6000, because it is very, how can I put it, like, I don't want to say it's a water base or anything because it is a very strong adhesive. You do need to give it some time in order for it to dry. So I did put some hot glue along with the E6000, but I ended up putting too much E6000, so I just went with the hot glue at the end. I ended up putting, for the frames that I did put some E6000, some painter's tape in order for it to stay in place. So my suggestion is take your time when building the frame of the display box, like the 4 frames putting it together, because it does shift. Now with if I was to use hot glue only, it wouldn't have shift because the hot glue would have dried instantly. But because the E6000 was in there already, it was shifting a little bit for me. After I put the 4 frames together, I had a little bit of this foam board left over, and I decided to take some of the foam board and cut a base for my display case. That way I can glue the little figurines on it, and that way the little snow pellets, or the fake snow pellets, would not fall apart. So I just basically measured the foam board, and I left one corner, as you can see it, one corner on the left hand side open, because I'm going to be hanging the LED lights, and they have a battery pack that I need to take out of the box, so that way it is not inside the box with the rest of the figurines. So after I did that, I just made sure I cut off any excess foam board, the edges of the frame, and then I was ready to insert my little figurines. Now, sorry about that, I'm trying to adjust the camera here and there. So now that I have adjusted the camera, I will start putting in the little figurines. And the little figurines are pretty small, so just take your time in order, with positioning the little figurines. Now, pay attention to the little figurines and make sure none of them are broken, because as you can see, that little bench is a little slanted, and the reason being it's because the two legs on the left hand side are broken. Well, on the right hand side if you look viewing the video. So I ended up taking a little piece of foam board and I hot glue a little piece of foam board to the bottom of the bench, and then I just cut it so that way when I do glue the bench onto the foam board, it is even. So as you can see, that's how I ended up doing the little bench, and I ended up just playing around again with the figurines, just trying to position the figurines. Now, if you do end up getting all the other figurines that are available at Dollar Tree, unfortunately I couldn't find all of them, you can also use the 11 by 14 frames from Dollar Tree to create a display box. Then I just took the LED lights, the star lights, and I just posted them around the top of the display box. I used a little piece of extra foam board and I covered the little hole that was at the bottom before I ended up putting the fake snow. Now the batteries that are needed for these little stars or these little LED lights are two AA batteries. Now the little screw is very, very small, so make sure you have one of those little tiny screwdrivers that can get that screw out. And as you can see, I'm putting a generous amount of glue on the figurines, especially the houses and the Christmas tree. Dollar Tree does offer, or you can buy the Christmas trees there, but in my Dollar Tree I couldn't find them at all. So again, put a generous amount of hot glue on the houses and the figurines, because when I do pour in the fake snow, I need to shift the snow around in order for it to spread evenly in the display box. And like I was mentioning before, if you do end up finding the remainder of the figurines, because my Dollar Tree does not have them and I've been looking for them since the end of October, early November, I couldn't find them. You can also get the 11 by 14 frames and create the same exact thing that I'm creating, but because it's bigger, you'll be able to display all of the figurines in there. And also, while you're gluing, don't be like me. Clean up the little strings that are left behind from the hot glue gun, because if you don't clean it up quickly, it will be stuck on the glass and it would take forever to take it off. So now with the fake snow, I ended up using a bag and a half of the fake snow. Now, please be sure that the edges of the frames are touching when you hot glue them together, because when I was shifting the snow around in the box, a lot of the little pellets came out and I didn't know where they were coming from. Then I realized that the bottom edges of my frames, because I was rushing to record the video, was not touching. So the little pellets are so small that they were escaping from the bottom. And the little piece that the little piece of foam board that I glued after I took out the battery pack from the bottom, I didn't glue it properly as well. So I had to put extra glue on the bottom and on the sides of the frame in order for the little pellets not to come out, because they do spill out and they're very difficult to pick up. Lastly, I took a window decal from the Dollar Tree that says Merry Christmas, and I just put it on the back of the display box. I had to take a few tries to position this properly, because I hot glued one of the stars and it wasn't falling properly, so I had to like snip off the star and then hot glue it back together. And then there you have it. That is the display box of my little village from the Dollar Tree. And I think it ended up coming out very cute, and it's very nice to display, especially for the holidays. I definitely would want to use this same not shadow box, this same display box for other holidays. So I would just pour out the fake snow and just put other figurines in there when it comes to different holidays. If it's Christmas or if it's for Easter, I put little rabbits with little eggs or something. You can always use the actual box itself and just remove the foam with the little figurines. You can just always put the foam back up top. So I hope you like this first project from the Dollar Tree that I created. And again, because the figurines are pretty small, make sure you spread the snow evenly. Now I know people are gonna ask, but I did not put a top on top of the a top on the shadow box. I keep saying shadow box, on top of the display box. I didn't put a lid on it or anything like that. I just left it open. The second project is the candy cane wreath. This I used 2 boxes of the 12 count candy cane from the Dollar Tree. I ended up just opening the box and I put the candy canes together to make like a little heart, and I ended up using about a box and a half or maybe a little bit more, and then maybe a box and 3/4 of candy canes. So before I glued anything together, I just took the candy canes and placed them on my desk and formed the wreath that I wanted to create. And you just gonna have to adjust them because some candy canes are longer than others. So you just have to make sure that they all fit properly and the size of them are equal. Now, after I did that, I ended up just making the pairs of candy canes. That way it will be easier for me to glue together. So I just took 2 candy canes and I glued them back to back to create like these little, I don't know, you can say little hooks or antlers. Then I took hot glue and I glued the tip of the candy cane with the bottom part of the candy cane. And I did these for all of the pairs that I created until I formed the entire candy cane wreath. Be careful when using hot glue because, again, I tend to get burned a lot. And holding these candy canes in place, I ended up burning myself a few times with that. If not, I ended up getting stuck to my desk, which was pretty hard for me to remove afterwards because one of my candy canes broke. You don't see that on the video because I had to take that out. But then after that is all done, I used a ornament from the Dollar Tree, and before I did that, I put a index card on the bottom and just drew the circle in the middle of the wreath so I can see what size I have to cut my foam. I ended up getting a red foam, and I put it in the center of the wreath in order for it to hold the ornament in place. Now the good thing about this ornament is that the back piece of the ornament is flat, so it'll be ideal to glue on any surface, especially if you just want to use it on a wreath. So I just put the little deer in the middle, put hot glue, and I took one of those little singular wreaths sticks that Dollar Tree sells, and I just glued it on the rim of the deer. And there you have it. That is my little deer wreath display, candy cane display. This one was very simple to make. It took about maybe 10 minutes to make. And it actually came out pretty nice. You also have an option of putting a ribbon between the top of the candy cane, so if you want to hang it somewhere. I ended up just taking 2 thumbtacks and just putting them on the wall and just hanging the wreath on the wall. Now my next project turned out very nice. I ended up using one of the Halloween frames that Dollar Tree had with the skull inside. I used a ornament, the Santa on the sleigh ornament, and I used the little red truck with the Christmas, Merry Christmas sign and the little tree, and some paint. I didn't know which red I wanted to go with, so I just had all my red on handy and my gold and my hot glue gun. So the first thing I did was I took apart the frame by pushing out the frame. This is cardboard, so you have to be very careful with not bending it too much. I didn't want to paint the front side of where the skull is because that is like a shiny material, so I didn't think that the paint was going to adhere to the cardboard too well. So I ended up just pulling off the sticker on the back and painting the cardboard off the back. So that way when I place it back into the frame, the card is going to be backside forward, so you can see the paint. Now I ended up painting the cardboard gold, and the frame itself I painted it red. Now the paint that I am using is from Walmart, and I got them for 50 cents. And all I did was just take red paint and paint around the frame and the edges of the frame. Then I did a second coat of gold paint on the cardboard just to get any little spots that I missed. And then I did again another coat of red. Now I ended up like splashing the red on it, like I can say like I was dabbing it with the brush. to get like this little, I don't know, weird effect on it. And I ended up taking a little bit of gold and just putting some gold on the edges of the frame just to give it a little pop and a little bit more design. I popped the little gold piece back inside the frame. I took my Santa and the little Christmas sign, took it off the little red truck, and just took hot glue and stuck it on the frame. Put a generous amount, hold it in place, and on the Santa, I had to fix his little hat and just put a generous amount of hot glue and stuck it on the frame. And that was very simple. It took maybe about 15 minutes because the paint had to dry. Now, I ended up peeling some of the paint off, so I ended up putting back some paint, and I ended up using some Mod Podge on the rims or the edges that are lifted on the frame. That way it would not peel anymore, so that way it can be sealed in. You have the option of doing this. You don't have to do it. You can just repaint it if some of the black shows. But honestly, the black did look pretty nice when it was showing and the paint was peeled off. But I just wanted it to be completely red and gold, so I ended up leaving it like that. And there you have it. That is the third project, and this just cost $3 to make the frame and the two ornaments that I needed. And you can also use the sleigh for anything else, and the Merry Christmas that was left over from the Santa ornament, and you can use the little red truck for another project that you would like to do. So this was very simple, and again, $3 to make. So there you have it. Those were my 3 Dollar Tree projects for Christmas that I've created. I am going to work on a few more before Christmas arrives, so be on the lookout for those videos. So again, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you again for tuning into my channel. Share the video if you would like, leave your comments below, and again, thank you so much for tuning into Gadi's Corner.